Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your November 2022 Tarotscope. If you're curious about the decks that I'm using today, you can find a list of them in the description box below. You can also find links to my social media accounts, as well as links to information on personal readings and the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram. I would like to remind you before we jump in that this is a general reading, not a personal reading, so please only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. I would also like to apologize for my absence for the month of October. I was dealing with my own personal healing and didn't have the capacity to commit to anything else, to be quite honest. But I'm going to make up for that by time traveling back to October, taking a look at what you might have learned or healed and how you've grown from that. Also looking at November, right? What's coming for this month for you and how that will help you moving forward. And we're going to be getting some guidance as you move forward as well, seeing how you may best be able to navigate whatever's coming your way. So let's take a look and jump right in. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, what did Taurus learn or what did they heal from throughout the month of October 2022, please? Okay, thank you. That was fast. How have you grown? Okay, thank you. Yep. Okay, just the one. I was going to keep going. It's like, what is coming in for you for the month of November 2022, please? What's coming in for Taurus for the month of November 2022? Anything else? Yes, okay. What's coming in for Taurus for November 2022? Yep, thank you. And how will this help you moving forward? How will this help Taurus moving forward? That's too many. Can we get a nice clear message, please? How will what Taurus experiences through the month of November help them moving forward? Oh boy. Okay, let me get that. If I can find it. There it is. Okay, just give me a second, guys. I apologize. My chair's kind of noisy. Okay. Just set those aside. All sorts of craziness up here. All right. Can we please have some guidance moving forward for Taurus? What guidance does Taurus need for the month of November and beyond? What guidance does Taurus need for the month of November and beyond, please? Okay. I'm actually getting to take those two and leave the rest in the deck. All right, so let me just move all of this. You guys, okay, let me just say, for some reason, I feel like some of y'all are like hella, what is the word? Like scatterbrained. I don't know if this is from October or if this is you currently, your current energy, but it feels like y'all are like a fucking ping pong ball all over the place with your thoughts. Like, I feel like I'm struggling to focus and collect myself. So I don't know if that resonates with any of you, but wow. All right, so let's take a look here. What did you learn or heal in the month of October? We have here Sub Rosa, hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learning, and teaching. Okay, so first of all, I want to say that I feel like in the month of October, I feel, had discovered things about yourself that you didn't realize previously, right? And I know that it kind of sounds like, okay, that goes without saying, because we have hidden in plain sight, but to me, it feels like I feel like this is less about teaching, though I'm not saying that doesn't apply. I feel like it's more so, or rather, the the more important thing about the month of October was what you discovered about yourself, what you uncovered about yourself, right? And then applying that into your reality. So you could be using it to help other people and teaching them how to, uncover things about themselves or to navigate things that they may discover about themselves. But I feel like October for you was this almost, you guys, I'm seeing it as like the unwrapping of a gift box, right? I feel like there was this beautiful unwrapping of you that took place throughout the month of October where you were able to see yourself differently. Now, you could have changed your environment or your relationships, your partnerships, your friendships, your job, what have you. And then that allowed you to see different facets of yourself that you weren't able to see previously. But I feel for you guys that there's been this, again, this beautiful unwrapping where you're being shown things about yourself that you weren't able to see previously. And there's an element here of, it's like a sliver of gratitude, but there's almost this like awe element about how you see yourself. It's almost as if you're looking at yourself in awe, right? Because I feel like the things that you've learned about yourself are, it's like, wait a minute, what? I don't I don't know what this might be about, but it just feels like you've learned things about yourself and you're like, wait a minute. I how is this possible? You know what I'm saying? It's so beautiful. It feels so beautiful to me. For some of you, you could have even felt called by God or felt a connection with God or some sort of higher than yourself power, okay? Whatever you want to call it, where you're like, wait a minute. How can that be me? How can that be my calling? How could or I would have never imagined that God would call me. What makes me special? What makes me chosen? Right? Sort of thing. And I don't feel like that's for everyone. I really truly don't. I feel like that's for a very select few people who have had the profound experience of God or something higher than themselves saying, I want you, right? And I'm not talking I'm not talking like I want you like an Uncle Sam poster. I'm talking like I want you to move in the world in this sort of way, or I want to use you in the world in this sort of way, right? And I'm not talking I want you Uncle Sam. I'm talking I want you like God. I have chosen you for this reason, right? And I feel like for some of you that could have been awe, like left you in awe because like we're trying to process how or why, right? I think that's really, really beautiful, Taurus. I really, really do. I'm like, I've got a big old smile on my face right now for you guys because it's so beautiful. You also have here the return on, yeah, a new story. You decide alignment, it's coming together. Again, like I was saying, I feel like for some of you, you may have moved to a new place, you established new relationships, or a new job, or a new residence, or a new way of being, or something where you are essentially writing a new story for yourself. And again, I some of this I feel for you for the month of October could have been because you did feel called by God, or you felt God wants me to be closer to it, right? And so I'm moving this way in life now. And that's not to say that it completely 1,000% makes you, change who you are, right? Like I don't feel like you like lose your sense of self, if that makes sense. But it's more so like, oh, this is a facet of myself that I didn't realize previously or didn't have knowledge of previously. And now that I know that, I'm going to what is the word? Embody that and write a new story from that space. I hope that makes sense. I also feel through the month of October, you could have had a lot of decisions that you needed to make, or we're put in a position to make, right, in order to better get you into alignment with what you're supposed to be doing in this incarnation on this planet, or how you what is it, how you could be moving, right? So it's interesting because I feel like some of you took that and some of you didn't. Like some of you saw it and were like, I don't know, and you just kind of sat with it, and then some of you saw it and was like, oh yeah, oh for sure, right? Which makes sense because that Taurus energy can be resistant to change, right? So a little stubborn, okay? But I feel like some of you were like, okay, this is interesting. Like, I'm just gonna roll with this and see where it goes. So, and again, I feel like these things are happening so that you can be in better alignment with who you're supposed to be, which for some of you is, that calling that God or source, universe, whatever you like to refer to it as, has for you, right? That's so fascinating because it's almost like God's like, hey, I'm showing you this. You decide if you're going to take it. It's up to you, right? So, again, like I was saying, I feel like some of you chose that and others didn't because it was a decision. You have here as well the breathing rose, heart healing, emotions, connection, and time eases. I actually was just seeing someone crying. Um, and I feel like it could be connection to the loss of a loved one. Mm. And it feels like if this applies to you, I feel like this is somebody close to you, or somebody who was, right, very close to you. Ooh, I just got all these chills in my heart space, y'all. I feel it, right? Some of you, I feel, through the month of October may have found yourself crying or releasing emotion around the loss of someone who was close to you, whom you admired and loved and cared for and respected and missed tremendously. I feel like you could have been releasing things. And I want to lovingly say to you that when you cry, it is you releasing, right? It is you taking things that you've been carrying and releasing that, especially from this perspective, because this is heartbreak, this is loss, this is grief, this is mourning. And I feel like for some of you, you didn't allow yourself or were not able to mourn whatever, or not whatever, but whomever you lost. For others of you, I feel like it's a what, right? I feel like uh, a situation that you may have experienced where you lost something, and it could have been just simply a part of yourself, right? But I feel like through the month of October, that could have been highlighted to you, and you could have been experiencing those emotions. And I want to lovingly say that I feel that the reason you may have been experiencing this is because I feel and I've been getting this in my membership readings, that 2023 is a year of soul sovereignty. And I feel like we've been moving towards that by releasing any attachments that we have to old ways of being, old ways of thinking, as well as pain and things that we need to heal, trauma, wounding, right? So, I feel like these things came up and I feel like it likely was quite uncomfortable, or you're like, gosh, I can't stop thinking about this person or this situation. But I feel like it came up in order for you to heal so that you can move into 2023 not carrying that baggage with you. Okay? Which, I mean, when you experience loss like that and then you allow yourself to feel it and move through it and heal it, right? You then are able to apply the things that you've learned to other things that you may lose, and to you know let's be real here. Life is a cycle of death and rebirth, right? Or losing things and gaining others. So, take it as it resonates with you. And if you did lose someone, I'm very sorry for your loss, and I feel your heart. I feel that pain. I feel that mourning. And, I want to lovingly say that for those of you who do resonate with that, I feel very strongly that this person visits you. If they're not around you all the time, they do visit you. Okay? And you may know that. You may feel that as well. Finally, we have for you here the sacred waters: nourishment, replenishment, health, rest, and self care. Yes. So, again, in October, Taurus, I feel, you could have been healing a lot of things around, again, this loss or mourning, right? Healing these things within yourself. And I feel like because of that healing, because I feel like for some of you, it was such a great release, or it is, you know, it was, how do I word this? It occupied such a large space within you that I feel that you could have found yourself feeling like really tired or exhausted, right? Even if you maybe didn't feel like you had a reason to be tired necessarily, right? Like, oh, I got enough sleep, or what have you, but I still feel really tired, right? And I feel like it's because you were releasing a lot of things, and I feel like that takes a toll on your physical body, right? When you release things that you've been carrying for a long time, your body has to readjust. And so I feel like, your body was working to try to adjust to you not carrying those things, that energy, right? Because energy, it manifests within our body, right? That's when you cry, for example. Okay. So, I feel like there's been a focus as well. Through the month of October, or there was rather, through the month of October, of focusing more on yourself, right? Really allowing yourself to take care of you in many, many facets. I feel like this is physical. I feel like this is mental. I feel like it's emotional. I feel like it's spiritual. I feel like there's just been this focus on nourishing your own well-being, right? And whatever that looks like. Okay. I feel like it was highlighted for you for the month of October. And I feel like the purpose of that, right, was to help you to heal, first of all, right? Needing to nourish self and take care of yourself, right? I feel like for some of you, you may have neglected yourself in the past. And then I feel like you also may have learned that, how do I word this? Healing is multi-layered in the sense of, right, you have things come up that need to be healed, you work on healing them, you release them, and then your body adjusts to the release of that energy, right? So it's like multi-layered. And I feel like for some of you, you may have come to some form of understanding about that. Like, oh, this isn't just, something that is like one and done, right? And you have to give yourself the space to be able to heal, to be able to replenish yourself, to be able to essentially recover from, whatever it is that you're healing from. Okay, so how have all of these things helped you to grow? Wow. Wow, Taurus, you have time to go. So I feel like all of these things have helped you to grow, especially. No, 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 no. Okay, so let me just back up a little bit. I feel like these have helped you to grow by one, helping you to release or let go of any preconceived notions or ideas that you had on God, right? On or universe source, whatever you call it. Essentially choosing or picking out who it wants help from, who it wants to use in the world, right? So I feel like for some of you, you may have moved past that and let that go. For some of you, I feel like you released old stories, let go of old stories, realize it's we don't need to hold on to these things. And I again, there's time to go. So I feel for some of you, you literally went. Right? You literally went and you've grown from that, right? You literally moved relationships, moved houses, moved jobs, moved situations, whatever it is, right? You actually have grown by learning to release. I feel like October for you was a big month of releasing your perceptions on things, right? Not It's very interesting to me because all the way around it's like, okay, this is not in alignment with who I am or what I want to experience, and it's going bye-bye, or I am, one of the two. Right? So I love this because it feels to me like last month you were able to learn how to release and are learning to move through life or navigate after release, if that makes sense. And I think that's really beautiful. Let's see, where do we put that? I'm going to actually put this right here. That's not where I was putting it in the last reading, but I feel like it's better there. Okay. So what is coming in for you or is coming for you for November? You have the 7 Star Sisters of Birthing Creations, Tapestry of Life and Expression. I do feel like I want to read the book on this one, and I'll get that out in a moment. But I want to share with you that I feel like for some of you, you tapped more into a creative side of yourself or will through the month of October, or November, right? I feel like you are opening up to how you express yourself. And it's interesting because it's like not fearing what that might look like, right? So, for example, let's say some of you were like, I feel like I want to create a painting, okay? And let's say you're like, okay, I'm gonna glue all of these things I found in nature onto this canvas, and then I'm gonna paint over it, and I'm gonna use my fingers, and I'm gonna use pine tree branches to paint, and like, you're like, I'm just gonna do this thing. I don't know, it's weird and different, but I just feel like I want to do it. But it's like, I don't care how anybody looks at it. Like, I just need to get this out of myself, right? So again, like, I just feel like you could potentially be creating things or birthing creations, expressing yourself in a way that maybe you wouldn't have before because you would have been worried about what other people would think, or maybe you didn't feel comfortable doing it or something, right? Um, let's see here. I'm going to read this to you though. Just give me a moment. Yes, give me a moment to find the page here. Okay. It says here, there are new creations that want to be born, beauty that's yearning to be woven, new consciousness that's longing to be breathed into life. If you draw this card, you're being called to surrender to these creations, to usher in a new era of consciousness and do your bit in weaving the web of life. This is a card of the artist and the midwife. You're being called to ponder questions. What wants to be birthed through you? What new creations are whispering in your ear? What beauty are you being called to make? Creativity and intuition come from the same sacred place. They occur when we find ourselves flowing with the rest of life. Earth is renowned as a planet of manifestation and creativity, and yet so many of us have forgotten how to create. Somewhere along the way, we stopped seeing ourselves as artists, as creatives, as poets. Yet to be human is to be creative. Creativity is part of your true nature. Perhaps you're being called to surrender to a creative project, such as a new business or book. Or perhaps you're being called to weave beauty in your home or in the way you cook. Regardless of the end result, you're being called to express yourself through creativity, to surrender to the creative projects that both scare and excite you, to find a way to weave beauty back into everyday life. For where there's creativity, spirit and soul are present, and the world needs those qualities now more than ever. What new creations are you being called to birth? So yeah, I feel like through the month of November, right, that creativity is going to be sparked within you, and I feel like it's coming from a place of authenticity, right? Again, I feel like you could be like, I'm going to paint this really wild, crazy thing with all of these really neato nature things that I find and see what the fuck happens, right? Like, I just feel like there's that spark within you. You also have here, Taurus, the blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, and integration time. Yeah, so, what's fascinating, first of all, let me just share, right? As we get downloads, as we get upgrades, as we experience new ways of being, and we are, what is the word I'm looking for? Are shown different perspectives, right? We have to allow our bodies to integrate that. So fascinating that for the month of October, right, I had this energy come in for you around being called, or this gift unwrapping, right? The gift that is you, being unwrapped. And again, I feel like that was just the start of an activation within you. And I just heard my stomach rumble, so I apologize if that was really loud, you guys. But I feel like this awakening that you've experienced, or may have experienced in the month of October, is going to continue to progress through this month, right? It's just gonna proceed as it was. And I feel like you're going to continue to be exposed to new facets of yourself. And I want to lovingly say that, again, that allows or requires rather integration time, which means that you need to be willing, or rather I would advise that you be willing to listen to what it is you need as far as rest and replenishment are concerned, right? Because integrating new ways of being can be very difficult or rough on our physical body. The energy is instantaneous, but our physical bodies are very dense and need that time. And a lot of times that requires lots of rest, lots of nourishment, right? And to your spirit, to your soul, it requires, allowing yourself to essentially just be where you're at. Okay. For some of you, I want to say that I feel like for some of you, you could be seeing the color blue a lot. Okay, just because I'm just being, what is the word? Like, it's standing out to me like neon color, like blue, in all these cards. Actually, I don't think there's one card out that doesn't have some shade of blue for you. So you may be seeing the color blue a lot this month, which is beautiful. I don't know what the meaning of the color is specifically. You may want to look that up if you are seeing the color blue a lot. But I do want to say that the color blue is often associated with Archangel Michael, as well as, Jesus Christ, or Jesus. So I feel like these energies could be around you. And again, right, I feel like some of you may have essentially felt called by God, which would make sense why you're being protected by Archangel Michael and that Jesus energy. Because let's be real here. God, source, whatever you want to refer to it as, protects its investments. Okay. Let's see. So how will this help you moving forward? You have the Eight of Cups in the reverse. So how is this going to help you moving forward? It's going to help you to, I feel, heal your fear of loss, your fear of change, or anything that you've been avoiding, anything that you have not wanted to see, anything that you have not wanted to address or heal, right? I feel like these things are going to be exposed, which lovingly, I want to say, can be painful. It can be traumatic or feel traumatic. It can feel painful. It can feel very trying. But it is for you, right? And I think that's something that I feel called to share with you is it is for you. It's not happening to you. It is happening for you so that you can grow, right? So that you can align with who you are truly, truly, truly supposed to be in this lifetime. So these things, this spontaneous awakening, and even I feel, whatever it is you may be feeling called to create throughout this month, is a means to help you to face some of the things that you haven't, right? Your fears of loss, your fears of change. Okay. Wow, look at this. You have judgment. So how is this going to help you move forward? Well, let's see here, friends, my Taurus friends. You have the blue flame, which is about what does it say here? Spontaneous awakening. And then you have the judgment card, which is, wait for it, awakening. So this is really going to help you to, again, see the many or rather many more facets of yourself. It's going to awaken you to your true being. It's going to provide a certain level of transparency for you to see about you. Right? I also feel like these things are going to give you the ability to reflect on things that you have experienced, right, in your past, what's brought you to the point that you find yourself at now, right? And it feels to me like beyond the month of November, I feel like you could find yourself in a very different place. Okay. And I'm not saying that in any sort of negative way. I feel or even that it's a physical place, but rather that you have a brand new understanding about yourself, about your place in the world, and external forces like God, right? Moving within your reality. Beautiful. I love this for you, Taurus. All right, so you have two postcards from Spirit here to give you some guidance for the month of November and beyond. The first card here says with love, and I think that's actually like the if I'm seeing this right, if my eyes aren't deceiving me, I think there's like the symbol of Hermes, the god Hermes on the front of this card or something similar. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of little. But the message for you here is, dearest you, as you think, so will you experience life. Thoughts are that powerful and they need minding. Let the unruly, chaotic ones settle down so they serve you or get released instead of wreaking havoc. These thoughts arise when connected to the energy of fear, y'all. Come on. Get the fuck out of here. Was I not just saying that? Nothing comes from nothing, friends. Okay, so let me start that sentence again. These thoughts arise when connected to the energy of fear and often masquerade as truth. Yet the real truth is that essentially all is well. Of course, you have thoughts that are positive, strong, organized, accepting, creative, open, and so on. Those are the ones we want you to keep thinking. And they have a less frantic quality. They're stimulating in a good way and don't get away from you. How do you keep an inner eye on your thoughts? Meditate and leave judgment out of the mix. Everyone has those fearful thoughts. Love them, love yourself, and then choose the thoughts you want the world to reflect back. Life is not as hard as you think. Loving you so much. right? So, I mean, interestingly, you have a blue on this card. This is the only card that you have out so far that has no blue. And green is healing, is a color of healing. I always associate it with healing, right? So I find it really fascinating that you have blue on this card as well, just to tie it all in together beautifully. And then to say, hey, what we want you to do is be mindful of your thoughts, right? Be mindful of that and don't give in to your fears. Oh, yeah, I'm releasing for you. I'm getting this burpee fear energy, which is releasing fear, right? So, I mean, I feel like that's going to be a big highlight for you as you move forward. And again, those fear based things keep us attached to things, right? Which prevents us from fully stepping into soul sovereignty. So, right, this is multiple layers of a means of helping you to heal and grow. And I think that's beautiful. Like, you got some blue on this one too. I don't know if you can tell. But this one says celebrate life, and there's a beautiful butterfly on the front. And before I turn it over, the butterfly is this representation of transformation. And, you know, I haven't felt really called to dive into the front of these cards like ever. But I feel like there's something here. This is a transformative time for you, Taurus. And I feel like if you take advantage of it, I feel like this time next year, things will look different for you. And that's not to say that things are bad currently or that they necessarily, you know, like you're, I don't know, like you're not appreciative or anything like that, but rather just I feel like things are going to look a lot differently because I feel like you are going to transform between now and then. And I feel like the way that you move through life is going to feel differently. Take it as it resonates. This card says, Dearest you. Oh, I love this so much for you right now, Taurus. Yes. You have a unique purpose and destiny that only you can fulfill. So, if God called you, sir or ma'am, hello. Okay? Ooh, do y'all hear that? There's like a, I don't even know, some kind of, oh, it's a garbage truck outside. Y'all better release some shit. Release any preconceived notions that you have on purpose and destiny, right? I'm just saying, that was your sign. Okay, let me start this again. You have a unique purpose and destiny that only you can fulfill. But first, you need to know that destiny isn't a destination. You don't arrive at some special place where, poof, you're perfect and happy all the time. It's about establishing and firming up a commitment to a certain experience, whatever form it takes. Your soul knows what you need to experience. Your destiny is to be present to all of life's adventures, to discover your talents and full potential through allowing inspiration to lead you and to risk standing apart from the crowd to listen to your soul. You are special as much as you are also, paradoxically, one with the world, individual, yet part of a great whole. Both truths have led you to this moment where we are saying you are on the right track, even if your ego self doesn't see that. Listen to your soul, check in with spirit, keep going. Spirit loves you, life loves you, we love you, and I do too. This is beautiful, Taurus. It's so, so beautiful because I feel like for many of you, you're being called. to something bigger than what you have been in the past. And that's not to say what you have been in the past isn't important or doesn't matter, because it absolutely fucking does. It's brought you to this moment right now where the universe, source, creator, God is like, hey, I have something much bigger for you planned. You had to go through all of that shit to get you to this point so you would be ready for what's coming next. And that's fucking exciting. If this is exciting to you or resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, and or subscribing. I am so very grateful for anyone who does that. It does help YouTube to know that there's something here that someone else might want to see or enjoy. So I really, really, truly do appreciate that. It has been an absolute pleasure to read for you, Taurus, as always. Thank you so much for being here. I truly do appreciate your time and your energy. I love you. I'm sending you love. I'm praying for you. This is beautiful. I hope you find it beautiful too. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.